My guest today is Norman Wooding. Norman is the founder and CEO at SCRYPT. Very interesting looking Swiss financial service provider, really specializing obviously in digital assets. Welcome to the show, Norman.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. Norman, we'll do what we do at the beginning of the show. It'd be great if you
Hmm?
could please introduce yourself, really. Love to hear a little bit of your personal and professional backstory, really, what you've been doing in the lead up becoming involved, I guess, as the CEO, co-founder SCRYPT.
Yeah, absolutely. I started in crypto, or I went down the rabbit hole, as people would say, in 2016. I started mining in university. I was studying economics and politics, and then I bumped into crypto, as one does. And I really liked the concept of everything, right? The economic, political, philosophical, sovereign, technological, whatever else or other fancy variables you can squeeze in there. It resonated with me. I liked everything about it. So I dove into the rabbit hole by buying miners because it was great to be paid 24/7 for owning a mini central bank that was adding to the money supply and validating different transactions. So that was my journey or my leap into crypto in 2016. Then I was involved in anything from mining to arbitrage, playing around with the Kimchi Premium. Again, I was a student while I was doing all of this. I then studied at LSE in London, where I also, or let's say, I subsequently taught the crypto course at LSE after completing my master's and doing some research on corporate governance and blockchain and smart contracts and how blockchain is good for pretty much everything from land registries to supply chain. So my background is academia and being a crypto hobbyist. And then I moved to Switzerland, met my co-founder and set up SCRYPT in 2020. So before that, I was dibble dabbling, let's say. And that's a bit of my professional background. As I mentioned, I set up SCRYPT in 2020. We're a regulated crypto assets financial service provider based in Switzerland. Our core competency is trading, but we also offer custody, staking, and other services. And let's say less professional. I was born in Mauritius, grew up around Africa, and then moved to the UK for my studies.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that because I was thinking, it sounded like, from my notes, it feels like you've come from the UK to Switzerland, but there's something about the accent that's a bit strange as well along the way. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't know if my parents would be proud of that one. I might have to refine it, but I was born in Mauritius, obviously paradise. Moved around and grew up in Rwanda, Chad, Singapore, Malaysia, pretty much anywhere and everywhere, and then moved to England in 2013 for my studies.
Yeah.
So the childhood was fantastic.
And this is why you were still at home is when you were mining cryptocurrencies while in the parents' basement, it says in my notes, Norman.
I was mining anywhere and everywhere,
Yeah.
wherever there was relatively cheap or free electricity. So I started off at university, and I had a Bitminer S4, I believe. So I had a bunch of ASIC miners and GPU miners. I was mining Bitcoin, Litecoin with the ASIC and ETH with the GPU. I was also renting out the hash power, right, for whatever was most profitable at the time. But essentially, I started at uni. And I told my flatmates, please shut up, don't like be quiet about it. And then when I did my master's in London, I brought the miners with me, and I told my mother, please ignore the horrendous noise coming from that room. But yes, we started the company bootstrapped, self-funded, and we spent 2 years in my basement and my co-founder's parents' basement. And they graciously fed us with love and pasta and encouragement.
I like it. And
Thank
so
you.
now, SCRYPT and Switzerland. So why Switzerland? Is that because your co-founder or your partner is I think you said he was a Swiss, but also different regulations as well, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say it's a big plus. I have to put the cheesy line in there. I apologize. Why Switzerland is we started in the UK and there was nothing, right? So obviously this doesn't reflect the current state of affairs, but there was no infrastructure, there was no regulatory clarity, no framework, no guidance, no lawyers, no bank accounts. So you pretty much really couldn't do anything in the UK. I'm not as up to date on UK regulation as I was prior. I still believe there's a KYC AML regime and not a proper license regulation or oversight. So when we did our analysis and we looked across the world from Estonia, Gibraltar, Mauritius, Cayman Islands, or otherwise, At the time, I believe Switzerland was the best. I still believe Switzerland has a great first mover advantage and is one of the leading jurisdictions for crypto because of the aforementioned variables, right? It's just the clarity. Whether the regulation is good or bad is debatable. I think it's good, but it's just the clarity to operate within a regulated and secure framework that is trusted, validated, and audited by different people and third parties. So Switzerland was the way to go. We came here, and again, I'm not Swiss, so I'm going to sing a bit of its praise at the moment. Ethereum is based here, Qtum is based here, Signum Bank is based here, Amino is based here. So these are all crypto native industries or firms, anywhere from trading companies to FINMA regulated banks. So Switzerland gives us that security, especially as a founder, right? Where you don't want to mess things up, set up in the UK, and then get a fat insult or penalty or retroactive punishment because you want to operate within the guidelines.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and obviously, Switzerland has always been, I suppose, a financial hub of Europe. Why is this a conscious decision of Switzerland some years back, just to kind of keep? Well, obviously, the fintech wave happened, and then they thought, well, let's just keep the blockchain wave going as well, because it's a competitive advantage to do so as a relatively small country in Europe.
Yeah, I believe that's a really good way to phrase it. I can't speak for the Swiss people or the government or the country. I'd have to communicate with the elders, let's say. But I think it's as easy as people, right? People want to make it happen. So there's people who act as catalysts, who pioneer, who championship various initiatives from incubation to technology to regulation. Those people form a community. That community votes and provides different regulatory clarity framework or otherwise. But I would say, yes, it's the people. They were always innovative. I believe regulation also always follows innovation. So innovation is always a step ahead, right? And rightfully so. That's the nature or the inherent behavior of innovating different things in industries. And Switzerland has maintained, let's say, a strong jurisdiction and a strong presence in terms of being a financial hub. And I think they saw crypto as an opportunity from 2013, when other firms like Bitcoin Swiss and Crypto Valley, et cetera, were set up. So yeah, it's just a forward-looking approach, and I think more stability than the UK, because the UK will say, and I'm not here to bash the UK, right? I welcome the advances they've made, but in the beginning they said they wanted to be pro-crypto, and then nothing happened. Then they allowed for a registration. I think hundreds of firms applied. They only accepted a percentage, and then they retroactively said, hey, you know what? We're going to issue something new. Don't even worry about what just happened over the past couple of years. But there are other jurisdictions. Canada, I think, is fantastic. Singapore, I think, is doing really well. The UAE is doing absolutely great. So I think now it's 2024. Things have changed. ETFs are live. Institutions are in. And as Saylor from MicroStrategy says, it's the beginning of a bull run until 2034.
Yes, well, couldn't have put it better myself. That's astoundingly bullish from Salo. I like it. All right, great words, Norman. Let's talk SCRYPT then. So, yeah, I mean, just give us a kind of, I guess, the broad strokes to begin with. Just what's kind of the high level vision, if you like, for SCRYPT?
Just making it easy to interact with crypto, to interact with digital assets, with crypto assets, making it easier for institutions ranging from Web3 companies to traditional institutions or TradFi guys. And access crypto ranges from custody to earning yield, staking, and various initiatives. And I think the main nucleus for us is trading. So trading is providing deep liquidity, superior execution against crypto and against fiat. So our main day-to-day business is fiat on and off ramp. The vision there is when I started in crypto, I was using local Bitcoin. You would send someone money and you would cross your fingers and say, please send me the Bitcoin back. And now, the tagline is simple, secure, and Swiss. You face SCRYPT as a regulated entity, and we provide you with everything you need to execute your strategies or to service your underlying clients in crypto. We service mainly corporates, fintechs, traders, and other institutions, anything from a retail crypto app to a structured product like an ETP or an AMC. So the vision there is just to make it easier. I think we have done for 4 years and for over 150 institutional clients. We've traded billions, and we secure hundreds of millions. And I think after it feels like old news now, but after the washout of FTX and other incumbents, we stand as a strong player in the industry. You could say after the bear market, we popped our head out of the sand like an ostrich, and everyone was insolvent or liquidated or just didn't survive, be it from malpractice or just the industry in general.
Yeah, that's right. As well said, Norman. Give us a bit of color then around, I suppose, some of the different, I don't know, customer segments or clients or however you like to talk about it. Yeah, some examples maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one really, I would say, easy example is we service exchanges. They connect to our API and they use us to consume liquidity or to offer larger trades to their underlying clients. We also power retail apps. They use us because 24/7 trading, API integration, and a wide trading universe. A retail app is where, John Smith would buy a Bitcoin. They would interact with a friendly user interface and user experience, but the underlying liquidity comes from SCRYPT. So obviously the counterparty is one of our clients. So that's an exchange. We service ETPs. We act as a custodian or rebalancing agent when people subscribe and redeem into and out of the ETP or structured product. And we also service traders. So traders can be people doing it for speculative gain or hedge funds diversifying into crypto. So there's a few clients who are notable and who are listed on our website, and we're trusted by FCA regulated entities like RCAX. We work with Bitstamp, we work with Rain Exchange out of Dubai. So really, it's a broad spectrum, and they use us just to execute or to satisfy their crypto needs. So I'm being ambiguous because it's a wide range, right? Some of them use us purely for trading, others purely for custody, and others purely for staking. Some of them use us, or most of them use us for all three.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, the end user of the client, your client, or whoever's using your services, they won't even be aware necessarily of SCRYPT
Yeah,
as a
absolutely.
brand or your role in whatever transaction they're undertaking, right?
Absolutely. That's why we have t-shirts now. So people start to know who we are more. But no, rightfully said. I mean, you look at Revolut, you look at underlying retail offerings, you look at the ETF in the US, and not many people are, when you buy an ETF, you know who your counterparty is. If it's a Swiss quote or otherwise, you may not be aware of the paying agents, the other participants, the market makers, or the custodian, but they're all an integral part of the framework or the structure needed to provide that service.
Yeah, and why the name SCRYPT? I mean, I guess it's kind of a codey fintechy name, but anything more to it?
Yeah, so SCRYPT is the Bitcoin mining algorithm, but we
Yeah, of
couldn't
course.
trademark the I because
Yeah,
it's too broad. And they said, get out of here. So we had to turn the I into a Y. But yeah, it's a gentle nod, I would say, to the early mining days.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess SCRYPT, the product suite, anything else that we haven't covered or that you're kind of working on, if you like?
I mean, we're working on a few things. We acquired our FINMA regulation. We'll be launching asset management services. That's to help institutions manage their treasury. So these would be DAOs or other Web3 native firms who raise a large amount, or let's say raise capital, and who need to optimize their cash flow, right, from short, medium to long term, rather than it sitting idly in a wallet. Obviously, we're in crypto, so we're working on really fun stuff from non-custodial, let's say, atomic swaps with the exchange, so you don't have to custody with us. We're working on derivatives, treasury management, and other DeFi/degen stuff. So that's all up and coming. We try to innovate or listen to customer or market demands as much as possible. And I think I would say this year the trends are good demand, halving, supply shortage, ETFs, self-custody solutions. So yeah, we're working on a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to shoot myself in the leg and say glory is coming, right? I'd rather say glory has been announced.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you kind of mentioned some of your, I suppose, client trends because that's
Mm.
where I'd like to go next, Norman. So I don't know where we start, but I guess you mentioned Bitcoin halving, supply shock. I think. What did you say about Saylor? Bullish until 2034. So
2034, his estimates of Bitcoin, the last Bitcoin being mined. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, well, let's start with Bitcoin. Love to just, anything you can kind of share in terms of, I don't know, just data points or trends, what you're seeing from the different entities that you interact with.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not as articulate as Sailor. I can't frame it in terms of it's a superhighway standing on the shoulder of alien giants or however he paraphrases it. I would say generally, I mean, everyone has seen the ETF. We've seen one of the largest growing, if not the largest growing ETFs in the world. Billions of capital has flowed in within 2 months. So I think that acts as an anchor for future demand. And again, paraphrasing other people, it doesn't matter who the next head of the SEC is. It doesn't matter who the next president is. It's pretty much there to stay. So we're seeing an uptick in demand because of the ETF, an uptick in demand because of the halving and other macro, let's call it factors or variables. It's the standard tale of time because you have monetary and fiscal policies implemented by central banks, regulatory bodies, and governments who do nothing but promote the money soundness that is Bitcoin, right? The Austrian economics and the right of property and the deflationary elements that is Bitcoin. So the trend we're seeing, if you zoom out, is the same trend you've seen since Bitcoin has been launched. Every day, to me, a block is mined without, any issues, let's say, is a day that Bitcoin's kicking butt and showing everyone that it does well. So yeah, we've seen an uptick in demand generally, and I think the institutions are in. So I look forward to the next narrative in crypto. What else do we think is holding us back?
Yeah, well, it certainly has been, a very interesting start to the year. Thank you, thanks to those ETFs. And yeah, as you rightly pointed out, the halving is approaching fast as well. It's about the 20th of April, I think it's due. So yeah, under 3 weeks away now. Yeah, so well, that's the narrative of the moment, and then we have the ETH ETFs perhaps not happening after that. Norman, what do you think will happen with the ETH ETFs?
I think everything will be approved. It's a question of time, right?
Yeah,
I think as an industry, as a community, as regulators, and let's call it champions of the space, we just have to keep pounding on doors and keep pushing forward. And in the log and in the long run, when you zoom out, it was temporary. It was inconsequential. When I started in crypto in 2016, I didn't think every single bank I know off the top of my head would be involved, either by offering it or investing in crypto companies or utilizing blockchain or investing in various blockchain firms. And, you know, not to be Bill Gates, but you overestimate what you can do in a little bit of time and you underestimate what you can do in a lot of time. And so you zoom out and crypto's been around for what, 10, 15 years? I think it's kicking butt. It can always do better, it can always do worse, but it survived black swan events, malicious players, regulatory hurdles and pushback, but you just can't stop it. Right? I mean, obviously, I don't want to appear as too much of a Bitcoin fanboy, but you just can't stop it. It's an
no,
immutable train. It's just
yeah,
going to keep coming. Yeah. Yeah.
that's anti-fragile. The more you try and kill it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't think of
um,
the elephant in the room. Oh, it's getting bigger, bigger, bigger. No, I think it's done a great job. I'm very proud of Bitcoin.
Absolutely, and I love that Bill Gates quote. It's a favorite of mine, and we'll come back to that. But let me just you said that every banker that is now sort of. I'm sure there's a little bit of hyperbole there, but just give us some color on that. You're saying that past colleagues or people in the traditional legacy financial system are intrigued now and looking to get involved, dip their toes. Is that what you're saying, Norman?
So, sorry, I said every bank.
Right.
I think every banker, absolutely, right? I still, whenever there's a movement, I'll get a message, hey, bro, what's the price next week? Oh, yeah, let me look into my little fortune teller ball. But every bank, so every institution, from from BNY Mellon to JP to Julius Baer. I mean, every bank is pretty much publicly in crypto, either offering it, custodying it, or investing or working with larger institutions. Those banks were the same ones, going on stage and saying, no, it's a Ponzi scheme. But hold on, we've also launched our metaverse, and oh, well, you look at this coin over here that we funded.
Yeah, it's funny. They're still kind of doing that though, aren't they? Because you see, what's his name, Diamond at JP Morgan. He's still very anti Bitcoin and crypto, but at the same time, I think JP Morgan are going to eventually allow access to the ETFs. It's a couple of the big guys at Goldman came out today, I saw as well, saying no, we're not into crypto. But again, as you rightly said, Norman, they all have their own various pilot programs or ETFs or whatever it is as well, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, you can't catch a fish in clear water, right? And I think I wouldn't listen to what they say, I'd listen to what they do.
Mm.
And some banks take 2 or 3 years, some of them 5 years, and some of them are pretty quick. And I just wish it operated with the same kind of community and fraternity that crypto does. Because my opinion on crypto is, hey, I built something really cool. I've iterated it, and I think we can maybe go in this direction. Here's a GitHub. What do you think? Right. And it's very open and transparent and it has all these other benefits. And I don't know if it's because of the stage of the curve in terms of where we are, where everyone is more collaborative and wants to work together. I've never been a banker. I work with bankers. I work with banks. I can't tell you if the culture is the same.
No, but I think we both know that it's not, Norman.
I said nothing.
Yeah. Look, as we finish up this part of the podcast,
Yeah.
Norman, just for anyone listening, in whatever potential sector of crypto, blockchain, or indeed fintech, and they might be looking to, engage some of your services, have a need for them. What is the best place for them to go to find out more? What should they do? Where should they go?
They should just show up to my house and throw a rock through my window. No, thank you very much. Script.swiss, SCRYPT.SWISS. So just go on our website. You can see the broad spectrum of services we offer. You can see the team. You can look at various call to actions. You can contact us. We're always available. We are based in Switzerland, Zurich, Zug, and we have also a presence in London and other jurisdictions. So just Google us, just check us out. I'm happy to help where we can. Just one other note in terms of trends we're seeing. I mean, this is blockchain data, but I think 45% of Bitcoin hasn't moved in 3 years, and a larger amount over the course of 6 to 7 years. You can call that lost Bitcoin, you can call that diamond hands, or you can call it whatever you want, but it shows a strong affinity towards basic demand and supply, right? Prior to the 21 million being mined and like a huge supply shock coming, we're seeing really, for me, you can call it interesting, fascinating. It's cool. You're seeing really cool economics at play. You're actually seeing Adam Smith's free hand. You're actually seeing full demand and supply without government intervention, without subsidies, without otherwise incentives, and without policies like quantitative easing or otherwise, which is meant to devalue a currency. So as a former economist of some sort, I think this is amazing. And I look forward to my son coming up to me and say, hey, Dad, today we looked at Satoshi. I was like, wow, that's way more interesting than Keynes and other people I was looking at.
Yeah, amazing. Very well said. And I think, look, you're exactly right. It's and Bitcoiners have always said this, but it's just, we humans, and especially economists, right? We're not really prepared for this kind of unknown new form of strange digital scarcity that has been born into the world. It's because it's a completely foreign concept to humanity, really, which is why it takes people 2 or 3 goes usually to really kind of grasp what Bitcoin is. And it's only after we go through successive halving after halving that it becomes rarer and rarer. Or if you try and just even dollar cost average into Bitcoin and you notice how much harder it is to acquire, and it's just kind of, that's only going to increase in the decades ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. It's so new that you can't, I don't want to say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but it's so new to us that we have to open a different element of our minds.
Mm.
We have it itches away at the brain. It's a concept which needs to be kind of
Mm.
integrated,
Yeah.
and isn't something which is the norm.
It does indeed itch away at the back of the brain, and it's almost like a virus because once you get bitten, once you get bitten by it's over,
Yeah, you're done for. You're done
Yeah.
for.
All right. Let's go to a break, I think, Norman. And then when
Mhm.
we come back, we'll finish off. We'll have some fun. We'll run you through the very famous scripted conversation hot take round. So we'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, we are back just like that. And I'm with Norman Wooding. Norman is the founder and CEO at SCRYPT, leading Swiss financial service provider, specializing in, all kinds of services across digital assets, really for, a broad spectrum of the blockchain ecosystem. Look, Norman, I like to finish each podcast with a quick round of rapid fire crypto conversation hot takes. Are you up for it?
Yeah, I'm awake. Let's do this.
All right, I like it. First question for you, Norman. Where would you say that you sit on the Bitcoin maximalist to multi-chain opportunist spectrum?
Um, I don't want to say far right and then be misquoted for something else, but I would say I love Bitcoin. I could bathe in Bitcoin. I started my journey in Bitcoin, and it was always be king to me. But I recognize the value of other chains, layer two interoperability, smart contracts, and use cases where Bitcoin may not be the best asset. Um, but yeah, so let's put it that way, right? Cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
I don't want to be minimalized into a Bitcoin maxi.
Yeah. No, that's a nuanced answer, and I think it's probably the correct answer.
Yes,
If
yes.
such a thing exists, so I think it's the pragmatic answer. But yeah,
Answer.
Bitcoin number one. All right, what would you say then, Norman, is your firmest conviction crypto opinion?
How so? My conviction in terms of
Just a crypto opinion that you have that you think you have strong conviction in, you believe is most likely true.
I believe crypto, and you can reference Bitcoin or other currencies, will outlast fiat. And I think fiat and capitalism is flawed. Capitalism is 300 to 400 years old. When you speak to people, or when I speak to family, my mother and my sisters, they'll go, well, you have to trust the British pound, or you have to trust the dollars, but it's always been there and I can buy it and it's liquid and people use it all the time. So yes, but we used to use cows and we used to use merchants and we used to use communitarianism and we used to go to each other's family and farm for free, for shelter and for food. So if we really zoom out, crypto is the next cycle in the economy or in the financial system. And it's new and it hasn't been done before. Let's check it out. And I believe it's one of the only, if not the only, tools which allows for true economic empowerment, right? Without oversight, scrutiny, you can move money instantaneously from anywhere to anywhere at a fraction of a cost without any intermediaries. So I think it's beautiful, and I look forward to the day where we do nothing. We are our own bank. AI does absolutely everything, and all these middlemen and intermediaries are removed. I think it's poetic justice that I and most firms and every firm in crypto is a intermediary in an industry for disintermediation. So my conviction is, if it's not the solution, it's a radical step towards the next phase or the solution. And if you look at Bitcoin, I mean, what we've been working on it, humanity, has been working on it for 40 years, right? Prior to the white paper, you had technological advancements, you had anarchists, you had e-money. Like, this isn't a overnight success, like many things.
No, that's exactly right, and that's well put. But at the same time, Norman, it's quite striking that even though this kind of long timeline of prehistory is indeed what has made Bitcoin possible, standing on the shoulders of giants, all that kind of stuff. At the same time, it's quite strange. You and I, for example, are here, sort of close enough to the prime of our life to kind of witness and even participate through choice in the birth of Bitcoin. And whether or not that could be an incredible opportunity centuries down the line, we don't know. But it's an amazing
Yeah.
time to be alive, nonetheless, Norman.
I really, really like that, right? It's like during COVID. Hey, Dad, what were you doing during COVID? Buying Bitcoin, legend. And, let's say if we rub shoulders with Vitalik, what are we close to crypto Jesus? Are we in the inception of our time? But no, I think that's beautifully put. Yeah.
Excellent. And look, it brings me to the next question, which you may be familiar with. It's a quote by Bill Gates, who famously said that we tend to overestimate what we can accomplish in 2 years and underestimate what we can accomplish in 10. So, anything you like, I suppose, Norman. Script, Bitcoin, and crypto, Web3. What does it look like in 10 years' time?
Well, I think everything doubles every year, right? So we can't even conceptualize what it will look like in 10 years' time. If you're somewhat of a nerd, you can see everything Star Trek predicted currently exists, from iPhones to holograms or otherwise. So I think I wouldn't limit myself in terms of thinking, what will it be like? I would always ask myself, what could it be like? Anything from an institution using blockchain to alleviate costs, right? You can see that, well, in 2023, if we used blockchain instead of credit card, we would have saved 70 billion in fees. But I would say anywhere from the institutional point of view to an individual point of view, what can you do in 10 years? What can you create? What tools do you have at your disposal just because you have an internet connection? What idea is itching away at your brain that you can kind of push away? So I would say question everything, build everything. There is no limit. Anything you can think of can be created to some extent. The resource curve or capacity has been greatly improved because of crypto, AI, internet, globalization, whatever else you want to call it. And like you said, it's 9 a.m. my time, it's 8 p.m. your time. We're talking to each other of this beautiful technology which didn't exist before, which no one would have thought of. I'm just super excited to see what everyone else builds, including SCRYPT, in the next coming years, and what it looks like. What does a bank look like in the future? What does a lawyer look like in the future? Will it be a human? Will it be AI? What does everything and anything look like? Yeah, I'm super bullish, as you can tell. But I think humanity is always super bullish. Anything from technology to how we interact, to how we communicate, to how we teach our children. Um, yeah, I don't want to be perceived as someone drinking the Kool-Aid and saying all the kids are going to be in the metaverse in the next 2 years, but let's just see what people build.
Let's see what people can build and look at. It's kind of another way of thinking about this, Norman, is it's a quote by William Gibson, right? So he, of course, said that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. With that in mind, can you think of an example, Norman, of the future being here right now, but most people aren't aware of it?
You can do remittances and cross-border payments to your family back home, whether you're working or you're a diaspora in various jurisdictions, with crypto pretty much for free and pretty much instantaneously. You don't have to use a bank who charges you a couple of percent and who takes T+1 or T+2. To me, that's something amazing, right? The capital constraints and controls we've had previously doesn't exist. And for me, the future is, you can build your own currency, you can build your own economy. What is an ICO? Right? You can be your own central bank. If you have a community in a project and then there is a token utility to it, well, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that wasn't really possible. I can say, hey, there's a Norman coin, and this is how the demand and supply is going to work. And I take fiat and central banks and all the other lovely stuff, and I turn it into my own experiment, and I see how it works out. Anywhere from layer 2 to interoperability to staking to restaking to privacy coins. These are all futuristic concepts which we've been using for a couple of years. And that's, I would say, the stuff which is more crypto asset intensive or orientated. Look at the blockchain, look at smart contracts, you can delegate a contract from a lawyer. What do the FTX lawyers take? Like 100 million in fees? And you can turn that into a line of code. You cannot bribe code. You cannot misalign principal agency concepts. You cannot falter it. It cannot fail, right? The minute you put $1 in a Coca-Cola vending machine, you get $1. And we've coded that into existence. So that is the future.
Yes, indeed. I like it. Fantastically said. Again, Norman, brings us to our final question. The final question is, what is your favorite science fiction book, a film, or TV show?
I'm a huge nerd. I watch everything. Something I really like is Dark. It's a German TV series. Um, but if you name it, I've watched it. So everything and anything, right? And then my friends know me. I can't answer that question. I'm like, would you like space theater? In that case, it's Star Wars. Would you like
Yes.
space science fiction? In that case, it's Star Trek.
Yes.
And that I give you a never-ending answer, and that's usually when they walk away.
Are you watching, or have you watched The Three Body Problem on Netflix?
I think I started watching it. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So please no spoilers. But yes,
Yeah.
I am a human with some leisure time, so I do watch things.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah, I think we've done 5 episodes, so probably got 3 to go. But yeah, absolutely loving it. Fantastic.
Yeah, I love the mind-bending stuff, right?
Yeah,
And I would say there's stuff like, I mean, you mentioned where is the future? Watch every episode of Black Mirror, and pretty much everything there exists, always being built,
that's
which
right.
is haunting. Yeah,
It is.
yeah.
Yeah, the Black Mirror is coming at us faster than ever. Look, Norman, this has been a lot of fun. Have very much enjoyed talking to you this morning. So thank you for coming on the show and spending some time with us. Just to finish off, take us out by telling people where you like to hang out online, what your Twitter handle is, X handle, and again, yeah, where people can go to learn all about the the SCRYPT products and services.
No, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed myself. I would say, you know, just look me up. I'm on LinkedIn and Twitter. I need to be more prevalent and proactive on Twitter, but I'm definitely more there on LinkedIn. And I should be, let's say, traveling the world, going to different crypto events. Always come up to me and feel free to challenge me, debate me, or agree with me about any concepts in crypto. It's what keeps me alive, essentially. So I love discourse and I love refining narratives and talking points. But yeah, go on the SCRYPT website, check me out. I was going to give my Telegram, but then I thought that might be a terrible idea. So I would say just look at X or Twitter and look for Norman Wooding.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Norman. All the best and bye for now.
Likewise, thank you very much.
All right, there you go. There was Norman from SCRYPT. Hey, he was cool. There was Norman from SCRYPT. I said that. No, I enjoyed talking to Norman. He was a lot of fun. Very smart young man, doing some pretty interesting things at SCRYPT. Of course, that website, script.swiss. Link is in the show notes. We reached the end of another show. I hope you enjoyed that. Do make sure you have subscribed to the Crypto Conversation in whatever podcast app you are using. But that is it for today. All right. Thanks, team. Bye for now. This was the Crypto Conversation for Brave Coin.